Welcome to The Explainer. If you're a leader, you know the feeling. You're sitting in a meeting, looking around the table, and you just know your team is only scratching the surface of their true potential. Well, today, we're setting the stage to completely dismantle those communication barriers. We're going to dive into some really fascinating source material on a fresh approach to cognitive development. It's specifically designed to bypass all that usual corporate friction and get you straight to radically better team decision-making and high-performance thinking. So let's get right into it.
So here's a question for you. Is fear of judgment stifling your team's absolute best ideas? Seriously, think about it for a second. We see this all the time, right? You hire these incredibly capable, brilliant people, you sit them down in a high-stakes meeting, and crickets. They hesitate to think critically out loud. They second-guess their own creative solutions. It's definitely not a lack of talent. It's a psychological barrier. They're literally terrified of how their unpolished ideas might be perceived by their peers, or honestly, by you.
Okay, to upgrade your team's workflow today, we're taking a quick look at 6 key areas. 1. The team decision bottleneck. 2. Meeting the TLS Blue coaching app. 3. The features driving better thinking. 4. Overcoming team hesitations. 5. 6 steps to get started. And 6. Supercharging team productivity.
All right, let's start with part 1, the team decision bottleneck.
To fix subpar outcomes, we first have to diagnose the exact organizational friction that's actually causing them. The source material makes a really interesting point here. Poor corporate decisions usually stem from a severe lack of honest, rigorous self-evaluation. When you really zoom in, there are 3 distinct barriers stopping your people from evaluating their own thinking. First up, like we just talked about, is fear of judgment. In a competitive environment, nobody wants to expose a weakness, right? Second is a simple lack of resources. Most companies just don't offer accessible, private tools for cognitive self-assessment. And third, time constraints. Everybody's just so busy. Deep self-reflection feels like a total luxury. But combine these 3 barriers, and what do you get? Stagnant, hesitant teams that completely shy away from analyzing and actually improving their own thinking.
Moving on to Section 2, let's meet the TLS Blue coaching app.
So, the source material introduces a highly practical, frictionless solution to this exact bottleneck, the TLS Blue coaching app. Think about traditional corporate assessments. They're usually public, highly stressful, and take forever. They basically trigger the exact anxieties that shut down high-level cognitive function in the first place. TLS Blue completely flips the script. It's totally anonymous, which creates this incredibly safe space for honest exploration, and it's super flexible. Anonymity is absolutely the killer feature here, guys. It gives your team the freedom to fail, learn, and grow without the paralyzing fear of a performance review hanging over their heads.
That brings us to Section 3, features driving better thinking. Okay, so it's one thing to have a safe space, but what are we actually doing inside it? While the app doesn't just deal in vague self-help jargon, it targets specific executive functions. The source outlines 3 core interactive assessments. First, critical thinking. This challenges users to analyze raw information and make rigorously reasoned judgments. Next is creative thinking, which features exercises designed to force out-of-the-box innovation. And finally, problem solving. This drops users into scenarios where they have to devise highly effective solutions to really complex issues. By grounding these big, abstract concepts into concrete scenarios, the app basically acts as a real-world gym for your team's executive skills.
And beyond the assessments themselves, the app builds this great supporting architecture around the user. You don't just get a raw score at the end. You receive personalized, actionable feedback with exact steps for improvement. Plus, it features long-term progress tracking, which is absolutely huge for motivation. When your team can actually see tangible results and track their cognitive growth over time, getting better becomes kind of addictive. There's also an optional community support feature, so if someone wants to share insights with like-minded folks while keeping their anonymity, they totally can.
All right, let's tackle Section 4, overcoming team hesitations.
Now, as an executive, you're probably sitting there wondering, okay, how do I actually get my overwhelmed, skeptical team to adopt and trust this thing? Well, the app's architecture elegantly neutralizes basically every excuse a busy professional might throw at you. If their hesitation is fear of judgment, boom, the solution is absolute built-in anonymity. If they're worried about time constraints, the app counters with incredibly short, flexible assessments. And what if the hesitation is a lack of resources or budget? No worries there either. The app provides a comprehensive suite of tools completely free of charge. It literally systematically removes every bit of friction from self-improvement.
Which leads perfectly into Section 5, 6 steps to start.
So, how do we actually roll this out to the team? Let's quickly walk through these 6 steps because they are wonderfully simple. Step 1. Your team goes to tlsblue.com. Step 2. They use an anonymous profile.
And get this, for a limited time, there's absolutely zero registration required. That is practically a miracle in today's software landscape. Step 3, they explore the assessments. The source highly recommends jumping right into the full mode version to establish a rigorous baseline for critical thinking. Step 4, they review the personalized feedback on screen or download a PDF. Step 5, they use that data to set specific goals. And finally, Step 6, they can optionally engage with the community. Literally an immediate, zero-barrier entry point to better thinking.
And finally, Section 6, supercharging team productivity.
Let's bring this all back to your core executive goal: better meetings and much smarter decisions. The source material points out something really key here. It notes that many team meetings benefit dramatically when participants use the TLS Blue coaching app prior to the meeting, allowing them to prepare with clear thinking on any issue. So the crucial takeaway is this: TLS Blue isn't just a personal self-help app, it's a strategic workflow upgrade. The real magic happens when you make this a pre-meeting protocol. By having your team run through these cognitive exercises before they even step into the boardroom, you're clearing away the mental fog. You're ensuring that every single person arrives warmed up, sharply focused, and ready to drop some high-value reasoned judgments.
I want to leave you with this final thought. What kind of breakthroughs could your team achieve if everyone arrived at the table with clear, fearless thinking? Just imagine a boardroom where the fear of judgment is completely gone, where creative muscles are warmed up and every decision is backed by rigorous, independent thought. That is the true ROI of removing these cognitive bottlenecks. So I challenge you to embrace this opportunity. Test the framework with your department and unlock your team's absolute highest thinking potential today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.